You haven't set an alarm in 26 months. It is 11:14 on a Tuesday morning. You are sitting at your kitchen counter in a t-shirt you slept in. The laptop is open to Google Flights. Bangkok, round trip economy. $480. You click confirm. The confirmation email arrives 11 seconds later. You do not forward it to anyone. You do not screenshot it. You close the laptop halfway, leave it on the counter, and walk to the fridge. There is leftover rice from Sunday. Half a lime. 3 eggs. You crack 2 of them into a pan that is already warm because you turned on the burner 6 minutes ago, before you even opened the laptop. You knew you were going to book the flight. You have known since Saturday. The only question was which Tuesday. This is what a Tuesday looks like when you have not set an alarm in 26 months. You eat standing up, not because you are in a rush, because the counter is the right height and the window above the sink lets in the kind of light that makes noon feel like a secret. Nobody is expecting you anywhere. Nobody has been expecting you anywhere since the resignation. You rinse the plate. You text your grandmother, moving the Wednesday call to Thursday, flying out next week. She will reply in 4 hours with a single thumbs-up emoji and a question about whether Bangkok is safe. It is. You have been 5 times. You put on old sneakers and walk outside. The neighborhood is empty the way mid-morning neighborhoods are. A woman jogs past with a golden retriever. A landscaping truck idles 3 houses down. The air smells like cut grass and someone's dryer vent. You walk for 22 minutes. You do not listen to a podcast. You do not check your phone. You just walk. At the grocery store you buy celery, a bag of limes, 1 chicken thigh pack, and a bottle of fish sauce. The self-checkout beeps 4 times. The total is $11.47. You pay with a debit card linked to a checking account that holds exactly what it needs to hold for the month and nothing more. The rest is somewhere else. The rest is always somewhere else. You drive home. You park in the driveway. You carry 1 bag inside. You put the chicken in the fridge. Then you open the door to the basement. The smell hits first. Cedar. Linseed oil. A faint mineral note from the sharpening stone you used yesterday. The radio is off. You turn it on. Jazz from the university station. You do not know the song. You do not need to. The workbench holds a chair leg clamped at both ends. Cedar. You started it Thursday. The taper is almost right, but not quite. There is a flat spot near the ankle that needs 3 more passes with the number 5 jack plane. You pick up the plane. You set your feet. You push. The shaving curls off in 1 long ribbon. Translucent. It falls to the floor and joins 100 others. This is the other thing you do on Tuesdays. You have 4 unfinished chairs in the corner. 2 are close to done. 1 needs a seat. 1 needs everything. You sell them for $280 to $320 each when you sell them, which is not often. Last year you made $5,400 from woodworking. The year before, $7,800. It does not matter. The chairs are not the income. The chairs are the reason you know what day it is. You plane for 40 minutes. The flat spot disappears. The taper is clean. You run your thumb along the grain and feel nothing but smoothness. You set the leg on the rack with the other 3. Tomorrow you will cut the mortises for the seat frame. Or Thursday. It does not matter which. You climb the stairs. It is 2:47 p.m. You have been awake for 6 hours. You have booked a flight to Bangkok, walked for 22 minutes, bought groceries, and shaped a chair leg. You have not checked a stock ticker. You have not opened Slack. You have not thought about your old team's sprint planning meeting, which is happening right now, at this exact moment, in a glass-walled conference room 14 miles from here. You stand at the kitchen counter. The laptop is still half open. The Bangkok confirmation email is still the most recent thing in your inbox. You bought a $480 ticket to Bangkok this morning. This afternoon you hand-planed a chair leg that will sell for less than $300. You have never been more certain about anything in your life. The math. Here is what makes this Tuesday possible. $1,402,600. That is the number on the spreadsheet you update once a quarter. Not once a day. Not once a week. Once a quarter. The withdrawal math. $1,402,600 multiplied by 3.25%. Not 4%. 3.25%. Because you are not retiring for 30 years. You are retiring for 50. Maybe 55. The Trinity study says 4% survives 30 years with 95% confidence. But you are 35. You need the number to survive until you are 85. So you shaved 75 basis points and never looked back. $1,402,600 times 0.0325 equals $45,584 per year. $3,798 per month. That is the budget. Rent is $1,340. Food is $380. Utilities, phone, insurance, subscriptions, $470. Travel fund, $500. Woodworking materials, $200. Everything else, $908. The math works. The math has worked for 26 months. The math will keep working because the math does not care what day it is. But here is the number underneath the number. The one that built the Tuesday. Total contributions over 11 working years, $660,000. Total portfolio value today, $1,402,600. Total investment gains, $742,600. Of that $742,600 in gains, 28%, $207,900, came from one decision made during 6 weeks in the spring of 2020. 6 weeks. 9.8% of all the money you ever invested. 28% of everything the market ever gave you back. The Notebook. You are 22 years old. It is May. You are sitting on a dorm room bed that you will not sleep in again after Friday. There is a composition notebook open on your lap. Black and white marbled cover. You bought it at the campus bookstore for $2.40. On the first page you have written a number. $1,400,000. Below it, by 3.5. You do not know how. You have a job offer for $52,000 at a software company in a city you have visited once. You have $1,140 in a checking account. You have $22,000 in student loans. You have read 4 books about index investing, 2 about real estate, and 1 about a man who retired at 30 and sailed around the world. You do not want to sail. You want to not have to do anything you do not want to do. That is the whole thesis. Written in a $2.40 notebook on a dorm room bed in May. You start the job in June. You set up automatic transfers on your second day. 35% of every paycheck moves before you see it. Into a Roth IRA until it fills. Into a brokerage account after that. You buy one thing, a total market index fund. You do not pick stocks. You do not time entries. You buy on the 15th and the 30th regardless of what the market did that week. Your apartment costs $940 a month. You drive a 2009 Civic with 114,000 miles. You eat rice and vegetables 4 nights a week. You are not miserable. You are not deprived. You are just not buying the things your coworkers buy. The difference is invisible for the first 2 years. Then it is not. At 25 you get promoted. $95,000. You do not move apartments. You do not buy a car. You increase the automatic transfer to 42%. The Civic hits 138,000 miles. It still starts every morning. At 27, $108,000. You increase to 48%. You have $187,000 invested. The market drops 9% on Christmas Eve 2018. You buy an extra $4,200 that week. Not because you are brave, because the automatic transfer does not know what Christmas Eve is. At 28, you cross $250,000. You increase to 52%. You start to feel something you did not expect. Not pride, not security, momentum. The portfolio grows on days you do not contribute. It grows while you sleep. It grows while you are debugging a memory leak at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. The math is doing something you cannot do with hours. Then the world stops. March 2020. You are 29 years old. It is March 9th. The S&P 500 drops 7% in a single session. Circuit breaker. Trading halted. You are sitting at your kitchen table in sweatpants because the office closed last Friday and nobody knows when it will reopen. Your portfolio was $412,000 on February 19th. It is $338,000 now. $74,000 gone in 18 days. You open your brokerage app. The screen is red. Everything is red. You look at it for 45 seconds. You close the app. You open it again. You buy $4,800 of the index fund. Your hands are not shaking yet. March 12th. Another 7%. Circuit breaker again. Portfolio, $311,000. You buy $5,200. March 16th, 12% in one day. The worst since 1987. Portfolio, $274,000. You have lost $138,000 in 25 days. You buy $6,400. Your hands are shaking now. A Slack message from Devin. Sold everything this morning. Cash gang. This is the start of something way worse. Get out while you can. You read it twice. You do not reply. March 18th. You buy $7,100. March 20th. You buy $8,300. You are pulling from your emergency fund now. You have never done this before. The notebook said nothing about this. The 4 books said nothing about what it feels like when the number drops $1,000 every hour and you are buying anyway. March 23rd. The bottom. You do not know it is the bottom. Nobody knows it is the bottom. The S&P is down 34% from the peak. Your portfolio is $261,000. You have lost $151,000 in 32 days. You buy $9,400. You buy individual names for the first time in your life. Nvidia at $47. Microsoft at $135. Amazon at $1,900. You buy them not because you are certain. You buy them because they are 40% cheaper than they were 5 weeks ago, and you believe they will still exist in 10 years. March 30th. You buy $6,100. April 2nd. $5,200. April 6th. $4,800. April 13th. $4,200. April 20th. $3,500. 6 weeks. 14 purchases. $65,000 deployed. You do not feel brave. You feel sick. You feel like you might be making the worst mistake of your life. You feel like Devin might be right. You feel like the notebook was written by a 22-year-old who had never watched $151,000 disappear. But the automatic transfer does not know what fear is. And you decided, somewhere between March 16th and March 18th, that you would not be smarter than the system you built. You would just be the system. The market recovers. Not immediately. Not smoothly. But it recovers. By August, your portfolio is back to $412,000. By December, it is $480,000. The $65,000 you invested during those 6 weeks is already worth $94,000. 9 months. 44%. You do not celebrate. You do not tell Devin. You just keep buying on the 15th and the 30th. By 2022, the market drops again. 25%. You do not flinch. You have been here before. You buy. You buy. You buy. The hands do not shake anymore. At 33, you are sitting at your desk on a Tuesday afternoon. You open the spreadsheet you update once a quarter. You type in the new brokerage balance. You type in the Roth. You type in the HSA. The cell at the bottom right turns green. $1,402,118. You look at it for 1 minute. You look out the window. You look back at the number. It has not changed. It will not change. It is done. You do not tell anyone that day. You close the spreadsheet. You finish your work. You drive home in the Civic, which now has 176,000 miles. You make rice and vegetables. You go to bed. 2 months later, you stand in your manager's doorway. You say 4 sentences. You give 2 weeks. You do not explain the number. You do not explain the notebook. You say you are taking time to figure out what comes next. Your manager nods. He does not try to counteroffer. Something in your posture has already left. The Tuesday. It is 9:47 p.m. The same Tuesday. The Bangkok confirmation email is still in your inbox. The chair leg is on the rack in the basement, tapered and smooth. The plate from this morning is dry in the dish rack. The grocery bag is folded in the drawer. You are standing at the kitchen counter. The laptop is closed now. The house is quiet. The neighborhood is dark except for porch lights and one television flickering blue through a window across the street. 26 months. No alarm. No sprint planning. No performance review. No one-on-one with a manager who does not remember what you said last week. No Sunday dread. No Monday dread. No dread at all, actually, except for the 30 seconds in the workshop when you looked at the 4 unfinished chairs and thought, "Is this enough?" It is enough. Not because the chairs are enough. Not because Bangkok is enough. Not because the $45,584 per year is enough. It is enough because the Tuesday is yours. The whole thing. From the moment you opened your eyes at 8:40, no alarm, to this moment, standing in a dark kitchen at 9:47 p.m., deciding whether to read or sleep. The math does not care what you do with the Tuesday. The math does not care about the chairs. The math does not care about Bangkok. The math just holds. It held through 2020. It held through 2022. It holds now, on a quiet Tuesday in a medium-cost city where a 35-year-old man is standing in his kitchen with sawdust still on his forearms. The $65,000 you invested during those 6 weeks in March 2020 is worth $272,600 today. The Nvidia shares you bought at $47 are worth $1,200 each. You do not check them often. You do not need to. The system you built at 22 does not require your attention. It just requires your absence. Here is what nobody tells you about early retirement. It is not the freedom that surprises you. It is the ordinary Tuesday, the ordinary grocery run, the ordinary chair leg, the ordinary flight booking, the ordinary quiet. You expected the freedom to feel like something. It does not feel like something. It feels like Tuesday. And Tuesday is enough. You turn off the kitchen light. You walk down the hall. You do not set an alarm. You have not set an alarm in 26 months. Tomorrow is Wednesday. You will call your grandmother. You will cut the mortises for the seat frame. You will not check a stock ticker. The chair will not be finished tomorrow. It does not need to be. Nothing needs to be.